We have seen a lot of approvals from regulators lately. The SEC, Bitcoin's not a security, Ethereum's not a security, BitLicense giving not two more licenses just today to one company and an exchange that they granted license now is allowed to trade Stellar Lumens in New York City. And I want to talk more, too, about these claims of Bitcoin price manipulation. Before I get to all that, though, I just want to tell a quick story that explains why I think this is important. Because I remember years ago when communism fell. And, I always believed, communism was sort of doomed in the long run, that the systems would collapse. But why do they all collapse around the same time? Like within a relatively short period of time, the wall in Berlin fell, and then other countries, they all fell. Like, why at the same time? And also, I remember with the horrible priest scandals, why were they all outed around the same time? And we see this too with the Me Too thing. These things have been going on for a long time. Why do they all come out at once? And, and I realized that it's because of philosophy. It's because of an idea. Something changes, and when that idea changes, the physical realities around it change. And so, although, one communist country may be thousands of miles away from another communist country, when the idea, the belief of what is possible or what is right changes, suddenly certain things are no longer possible, and then it crumbles all over the place at the same time. So similarly, I think we have a change in philosophy regarding cryptocurrency, and at least within the regulator circles, where I think it used to be, this is for criminals, these things aren't going to last, it's not a big deal. That was the old philosophy. Now it's these some of these are for real. They should be regulated. It's not only criminals. These are real financial institutions interested in this. And that philosophy has changed. And so I think that's why a lot of the, approvals are coming through all at the same time. And this also tells me, maybe I'm just being too optimistic here, that we're going to see more. Where I felt, maybe 6 months ago I've seen a lot of projects where it feels like they're ready to roll. They're just waiting for regulation approval. And that's been holding things up. I think that might be coming to an end. Again, maybe I'm just being optimistically speculative, but so just to review what we have. So one that I thought was different, I wasn't expecting at all, was BitLicense giving two more licenses. One was to this company itBit, who now is allowed to trade Stellar Lumens as well as Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. I don't know if there was one more. If there is, I apologize. But, I see they all add Bitcoin Cash because, well, if Bitcoin's legal, Bitcoin Cash is. I don't like Bitcoin Cash, but whatever. I get it. Litecoin, same thing. Those are sort of expected. But Lumens, we don't hear much of that. This is the first time Lumens has been regulated to be traded in New York City. And I know Lumens is working on an exchange. I've heard of several exchanges working with Lumens. They want a direct Lumens to fiat currency approval. I think we've been waiting on that. This is a sign that may be coming. So I like that. There was also this company, Zappo, was approved. They're a storage. Again, too, I talked a few days ago about how the custodian solutions are coming. I don't know if itBit's a custodian, but Zappo is a custodian that Mike Novogratz has talked about. They are now, have a bit license. For those, people with institutional clients, Goldman Sachs, Zappo is not maybe as good of a name as Goldman Sachs, but still, it's something. It's another approval. So, and the SEC being clear about Bitcoin, it's not a security. It's a commodity. We sort of knew that, but it's now, for the, banks that are, or any organization that's heavily regulated, they don't need any room for error until they hear the SEC say it's not a security. Now they know it's not a security. And then Ethereum was more of a question mark. I thought they were going to say it's not a security, but there was an issue because Ethereum did have an ICO when they originally launched. that was raising money in order to build this thing. So technically, at that point, it was a security, but now it's already up and running, and no one's in charge, and I guess the token would be a utility token. And so they've said that, well, that's not a security now. But the clarity and getting these regulatory approvals, and the fact that they just keep coming in one after another at the same time, I like to see that momentum. Now, on the other hand, there has been one negative controversy, and actually not connected to regulators, because the CFTC regulates Bitcoin pricing. Excuse me, hold on. Choking on a mosquito. There it is. I didn't actually swallow a bug, for those of you following. Okay, what was I saying? I still have a cough. Hold on. Okay. So, CFTC. Oh, the CFTC has been regulating Bitcoin, and they haven't come out with anything negative. They gave a subpoena to Bitfinex, regarding Tether, back in December. Nothing's been found. I'm sure they're still snooping around, and they were trying to investigate, but nothing's been found. So as far as regulation, again, Bitcoin's price looks okay. Now, and I want to talk about, there's an academic paper that came out yesterday where they said, Bitcoin has been manipulated by this Tether. So first of all, that's very 6 months ago of an article or a paper to write, but whatever. Maybe they did a lot of research, took a long time, and I haven't read it, to be quite honest. But I heard some people talking about it, and just here's the thing. This is what I believe. Okay. If you believe in Bitcoin, you believe that this is a decentralized money that cannot be controlled. It cannot be stopped. It can't be regulated. It can't be censored. And if you believe all that, then you also believe the price can't be manipulated. If you think the price can be manipulated, and maybe in the past, I got three thoughts going at the same time. If you think it can be manipulated, then you probably should not be thinking that governments can't stop it, right? I mean, if it's that easy. Now, the other thing, just regarding manipulating price, there are people in markets, and there will always be, who do, shady things in order to steal a little money or get in front of a trade, or maybe even move the market on one exchange for a couple minutes, which allows them to make money, and that's not legal, and do these crazy things. But the idea that this, how many hundreds of exchanges trading Bitcoin with arbitrage, I hear the arbitrage thing is greatly improved over the last 6 months. We used to see, last year, it would, Bitcoin, there would be $1,000 price difference in Bitcoin between different exchanges. The arb machine of balancing out those prices has improved. So to say that you can manipulate over all of those exchanges now for any prolonged period of time in one direction, I think that's a crazy thought to me. Just, hey, listen, if the CFTC says they've proven that's what's happening, I'll take a look and I'll admit that I'm wrong. But at this point, to think that anyone or even any group can manipulate the price of Bitcoin over an extended period of time, I think is a little naive. And that's not to say that there weren't shenanigans and market inefficiencies occurring at the time of the trades from this academic study. But I think I'm not worried about the CFTC coming out with something regarding Bitcoin price manipulation. If they do, I'm not going to think it's a conspiracy and they're lying. I'll change my mind, but that's where we're at. So I think this is positive news, seeing these regulations come. I'm a lot less skeptical that, I don't know that everything is going to get approved, and I'm hoping that the pace keeps up the way it's been. So we will see. All right? Stay tuned.